Grand Rising, folks, it's 12:29 p.m., 5/19/2025. Grand Rising, if you're just waking up, thanks for joining us here at PARACONOMY Inc. We're here disclosing all sorts of valuable information. So now when we talk about hereditary, just jump right in. When we talk about how people's hereditaries have been built around their actions and how human evolution is just gifted down by people's traits, it shows that people are susceptible to certain behaviors before they become endowed with this experience. And that's one big reason why people are getting into conflict at all, at any other areas, is because there is something else going on in reality besides what you inherited behaviorally. So people can basically have this part where they don't know what is going to set them off in life over the juxtapose the reality, the layer of reality. You may have to put work into the way that you interact with life. So 12:30 p.m. How's everybody doing? Leave a comment, hit that like button, share this video with people you guys think need to hear some of this stuff, and go ahead and leave a little super like if you got any of that money, you got that milk money, bro. We need some for my genes aren't doing enough here in reality. So that's kind of why I brought it up is some people are kind of predetermined to behave a certain way in the face of facts. And that's a huge indication that if your family is all on the same side, that you all inherited the same traits and the behaviors that are supposed to complement reality. And if your family hasn't taught you all of the pairing on hereditary, your family did not do exactly everything in their power that they could have to extrapolate these virtues and habitual kind of feelings that your family may consistently interact and intertwine with here in reality. So when you have some variables in reality that shed light on the differences and diversity in hereditary and genetics, it also shines a light on the fault. So once somebody's born and they've consistently acted a certain way, if that is better than how you have reacted in reality, your traits, you get to be correct. So it's this weird idea on race science, back to traits and hereditary. It's this idea on people's predisposition on that has to do with their faults. And this is why racism has been getting super hot on top of things, is people decided that they actually want to study the special things here in America, and that comes with the people and the desired traits that they bring to the table. So if you find out that you're among a lot of really brilliant people, but they're all extrapolating the like fringe classes of your family and that they end up on a different side of the family, that too is inherited. And the way people decide to prune people out of the family is basically on this inherited trait and how you will navigate reality using that trait. Now, people get embarrassed if those traits are being slung by people who are using them quote unquote incorrectly. Um, that's one way people have lost sight on some of the differences and veins of splitting on people's realities as well, because it can't just be a static thing. I imagine that reality must then also learn to evolve outside of humans, because if there's nothing new under the sun, that means that there's also change and there must be a reality in which that can serve this person her on a hereditary level and on a genetic level. And this is where that reality will complement that line of the family. And bada bing, bada boom, that person is on their way to becoming the next level for that generation of genealogy. And that means that the evolution that's based in reality also then tacks in back to the original point of purchase in this and that reality that gives it this identity that gives you a pairing off of the family in which they don't have to prune, but they might do it anyway because they don't know any better. And they've never seen when the apple falls far from the tree in Hereditary, it usually either means A, they're gifted and you want to keep that apple, or B, they're far from desirable and you want to throw that apple far away. This is the difference in how my Mellish family and my Ellis family decided would happen with my Hawaiian family out in Hawaii. And this is a big reason why I'm not allowed to play with the money. I'm not allowed to have any self-respect, be a dignified man, and I have to go try and toil in all of these extra so go prove it. We're giving you less. Go prove it because your genes are better. And that leaves me here because they're like, well, you couldn't prove it in time. Our time's here. And it makes people, you're homeless. Now we can't help you. So that's how people will be remembered for Christmas is their hereditary will be given the life that they've been looking for their entire lives and being able to see if they're right. And so when they want to be right, they can feel like they're right. And when they want to be wrong, they can feel like they were right. And that's kind of the huge part on Hereditary and this part of reality. When you close a blind eye to the part of reality that involves you directly, to go off onto this other length of reality. Now, this part means that reality has changed enough for this person in your family to jump on. And if you take the line, you too can learn to evolve a more complementary set of traits for this reality and that's not something people are looking to do, people are cozy, and so that's, like, kind of why you end up with people being bastardized, thrown out of the family, you end up with these trans girls who are brilliant in the places they're brilliant, but then they lack and fatigue in places of courage, bravery, genuine, like kind of authenticity. They might falter because they're picking that side of the family that does not use those traits to flower out their basically inertia from point A to point B. So, and you look into the devaluing of the Catholic sow or the family like kind of sheep, the black sheep, and like whatever weird variables in virtue you want to look at. You look at towards the novelty, right? So what does that person have? Do they have like extra things on in their face that give it like do they have bigger cheeks? Do they have like smaller ears? Do they have like, more pronounced forehead? Whatever it is, it should dictate on what is possible in reality. And so if you are under the same consistency that "Oh, he pooped out a baby, it should look just like the last baby that got pooped out. And like it does, but it also might have something different. That means that we've added enough diversity in our existence for people to have, flavors and stuff like that in places that you thought might be tucked away in the family, but are end up outside of your direct family somehow because your family tree goes pretty vast. I mean, it took a lot of people to make you. And so a lot of decisions got made. And once you're made, dude, unless you can show off the skills like this, people are going to look to the wayside and do everything in their will to ignore you. So just be aware, this is how we celebrate Christmas now. This is how people will look at my family and some of your families on why you're not invited to Christmas. And this is a huge reason is because you're off being busy, living your life and surviving in a reality that was basically built for you and is now being repurposed by other people in the same idea that you can't hang or you're too violent or you're this, or you're that. And so this is why you'll end up with being put on the other side of the roster for the nice and naughty list on somebody else's Christmas list. It's born that way, it's sensed that way, and it's gifted that way until you do. And so that's one big reason why everybody's waiting for that finish line, but it's already taken place because I fell further from the tree. And so my ideas are different, my feelings are different, my whole reality is completely different, okay? And it will continue to highlight this part that's different because it's desirable in human evolution. So that's like what happens in the family of having diversity. At some point, you're going to recreate something that's more diverse than what the previous idea of diversity was. And if that spirals out of control, then it becomes undesirable towards the greater good of the family. But that doesn't mean that you didn't just lead and cut through a bunch of noise in order to uh, escape this reality that was not built for you in the family. These ones are. And so once you hop on these, your life should also get better. But this is the back and forth. Your family's going to want to slow you down because they're going to think that you can't hack it or stuff like that. But you know it's built for you. And that's a big reason why me and my family just don't get along and why I'm also collecting a bunch of homeless kids here in Michigan and why they don't get along. It's because these adults thought that they were apples that fell too far from the tree and that they won't be able to absorb the nepotism. That's not true. The nepotism is dated, and that's a huge reason why the bigger part of the family falls off. It starts to deteriorate before these new novelty ones fall off. And scientifically, it's how we've expressed so many formulaic expressions towards an answer instead of, well, I just ended up with this big number. And it's like, well, that's a big part of it, but we want those numbers. We want to get more when we're going this route. We want to get smaller numbers in detail because we want to know the finite extension of limits in humanity. So that's like a huge part on why people, they don't understand what they're doing. It's because they're stuck living somebody else's reality. Um, so unfortunately, there's no friction on creating like human evolution when it's the same. When it's different, it does. And I'm different, so I do. Welcome to Paraconomy Inc. Hit that like, share, subscribe my squabble, scribers, and like I'll see you guys later on the lake side, or maybe not maybe it'll be in the parking lot. I don't care. It's reality built for me by a divine being or some alien. I come visit paraconomy.earth. Go grab your audit. What are you guys doing? Not getting your audits back. So go find out whether or not you're on the nice list and a naughty list and you like that in the family or in the town or whatever. Go to paraconomy.earth. We'll set you up with that. We'll run the predictions. I'm a prophet. I'll help you with your magical family and the evolution. Hit that like, share, subscribe, and go check out paraconomy.earth.